What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot to go over in this episode as we had some pretty important news come out over the weekend. Some of the most important news is how the FDA authorized Regeneron's COVID treatment, and this is the same treatment that Trump took. So in this video, we're going to be talking about that, a little bit of political news, and then, of course, the electric vehicle hype. So, NIO, XPEV, Ally, and Tesla. We're going to be covering all of those stocks in this video. And at the end of the video, we have a $3 million call option that's looking very good for the rest of this week. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. And if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys want to get free day trades every single morning, you can click the first link in the description down below. But with that being said, Tom, let's get started.
Yeah, the best news that came out this weekend is the REGN or Regeneron's COVID treatment news. And CNBC reports that the FDA authorizes Regeneron's COVID treatment taken by Trump for emergency use. And we could see a pop in Regeneron on Monday, but be careful of a big pre-market run and then a fall at open like we've seen with a few stocks lately. But I really like Regeneron to the upside, and it really looks like that they've been falling over the past few weeks. So we might actually get to see a decent pop back up on them. But just given technicals, just looking at the chart, they're getting close to a support around $500. So I would say that they could pop here on this news. And I would just say that overall, this might be very bullish news for the market. A lot of people are saying the SPY is going to go up and that futures are going to go up tonight on this news. So we'll have to see whenever futures come out. But I think it's a pretty good thing for the market. And I think it's the best for Regeneron. And I'm definitely going to be looking at calls on them if we don't see too big of a pre-market pop.
True. I mean, we see this all the time in the market, especially with vaccine stocks. We see just huge run-ups before the market even opens, where when the market actually opens, the stock is up so much where normally these vaccine stocks fall at open. So just be careful with that. But like Tom, like you said, if we don't see a crazy run-up with REGN in pre-market, we might be able to actually take advantage of the intraday movement.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of you can actually see on my chart that it looks like that it does move in pre-market and after hours sometimes, pretty significantly, but more times than not, it looks like it doesn't move too much. But on this news, it's probably going to move a little bit. But I mean, I would say if we don't break above like 535, I think it might be a pretty good level.
True. So what other news happened over the weekend?
Biden's going to actually announce his first cabinet picks on Tuesday, and I think this could really affect the markets. And he also said that last week he's decided who he will announce for Treasury Secretary, and that he will make the announcement over the next few weeks. And right now we have Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary, so whenever he announces somebody, it's probably going to be a pretty big change rather than Trump's guy, who is Steve Mnuchin. So just keep in mind, it's probably going to shake up the markets whenever he does announce this. And I'm not trying to get political or anything like that, but his picks will definitely impact the market as long as he actually becomes president.
Right. So I know there's a ton of political uncertainty still right now. So I know there's a lot of variables and things like that, but it's just good news to be aware of. And then, Tom, what is going on with these EV stocks? NIO, XPEV, Ally, Tesla. I mean, they are soaring. What should we look out for? What's going on?
Yeah, my biggest concern right now is that some of these stocks are nearing highs, which is awesome for this market and for EV stocks in general. But just keep in mind that we're really nearing crucial points on a lot of these stocks. Like NIO, it does look very bullish to me right now, but we could end up with a lower highs scenario. Like if we look on a daily chart, a lot of stocks that end up falling end up having lower highs. So, we might have a green day on Monday and close around 53 or 54, and then maybe have a lower highs scenario and then end up falling. Just be very careful trading it around these levels. I think a lot of people could get burned if they get calls, right around that $54 level on NIO, for example. And a lot of these other stocks are running as well, like XPEV and LI. But I think that I just think a lot of people could get burned on these stocks, and I just want to say to be very careful. But with that being said, they are very bullish looking, and I think that if they do end up running on Monday morning, like if NIO breaks above $50.60, I think we could see a pretty big run on these stocks.
There is so much momentum in this industry right now. Like you look at NIO's chart, it's just exploding. It's like an exponential curve. You look at LI, it's just exploding. XPEV, another one that is just straight up exploding. And even Tesla. I mean, they're doing very well. They broke all-time highs last week. Just the industry is exploding, which is awesome. But especially with stocks like NIO, XPEV, and LI, you have to be careful because they are up so much and they have a ton of momentum, and that's awesome. But just understand that this momentum is not going to last forever. We can see with NIO especially, it has some amazing upwards movement, but when it falls hard and it falls fast. So you have to be very careful with these stocks because the tide can turn and it will turn eventually. So just know that this upward movement that just skyrockets, it cannot last forever. So just be careful, don't over leverage. Understand that this tide can turn at any time. And, that does not mean that NIO is going to fall back down to $20 or anything like that. But just know that a pullback is on the way. No one knows when, but this momentum cannot last forever.
Yeah, definitely.
So any other news, Tom?
There really wasn't. It was another pretty boring weekend like it's been the past few weeks.
Yep. So now let's get into our Discord member of the day. And today's Discord member of the day is Sam9539. So he said, thanks, Mike and Tom. The bot is great. I really had a great trading week and look forward to your daily video. And we can see he made a post. He's up a little over 10 grand this past week. So that's awesome. And like I said a lot in last week's videos is, it's awesome to see that like slow and steady movement. It's not like he took one trade and he's up 10 grand. Like it's a nice slow and steady increase, which is awesome. It's consistent. So great job, Sam. Keep it up. And if you guys want to join the Discord, it's the first link in the description down below. Free day trades every single morning, and then also the ability to network with about 11,000 other traders. If you guys want to try the bot that Sam is using, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. But now let's get into our momentum plays, and the first one is Snapchat. So SNAP had a pretty solid day on Friday. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Make them go ahead and break above 44.70.
All right, and then with the next play, we have Microsoft, but to the downside.
Yeah, this one's really looking pretty bearish lately, and that's kind of surprising, but make them go ahead and fall below 210 or 209.90.
Gotcha. And then with the next one, we have Boeing, which is also to the downside.
Boeing, make them go ahead and fall below 198.75.
All right, and then last but not least, we have Nvidia, also to the downside.
Nvidia, go ahead and make them fall below 522, and then also look for a support on them at 518. So if it falls below 522, you might want to take profits somewhere around 518 if it doesn't break 518.
Perfect. All right, so now let's get into the $3 million options trade for next week. We are looking at the BABA 280 strike call options that expire this Friday, November 27th. We were talking about BABA a lot in last week's videos. I mean, we had to cover this at least 3 or 4 times, and we've been eyeing this one for a bounce back up. It's looking amazing right now. If it has this continued upwards momentum come Monday morning, and if it's still up come Monday morning, this can be a great day trade. So it looks pretty good. I think you might be a little bit too late if you're looking to swing trade this, but I think it looks pretty good for a day trade, just depending on the momentum. So with that being said, there was about $3 million put into the 280 strike call options. I would think that they're longing them. What do you think?
Yeah, I would too. It's only $5 off of the high in after hours on Friday, so I don't think that it's too far off. It seems like it's pretty far away, but I don't think it is, given that these expire at the end of the week. And I really like this bounce on BABA. If we go to the daily chart, you can see how much BABA really started to pull back whenever that Ant Group news did not go over well in China, and now they're starting to actually pop back up. I could really see this continuing running, just like you said.
True, and the option is $10 out of the money, which is a little bit alarming, but Baba's a pretty big mover. I mean, we could see on Friday alone they moved $10. So we have 5 days to have it move $10. 5 days to have it move $10. So I think it looks pretty decent, but it all depends on what the momentum is and the sentiment come Monday morning. So
yeah, and they might just hop out Monday morning if it's up a little bit.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So now let's get into our questions from the previous episode. And we have AJ saying, I think Ford will be a big stock next year. They are going to sign a deal with the USPS for the new electric transit vans. Love the channel. So thank you so much for that. Tom, let's take a look at Ford. I know we were talking about it a little bit last week.
Yeah, I really like this. It's actually the only thing that really worries me about Ford is that they're actually nearing their COVID high. So their COVID high was right around $9.15 or right around $9. And you can see we've bounced off of $9 and then we've had a couple of red days, but other than a short-term pullback, I also like Ford for the long term, especially since they've been integrating electric vehicles into their market, kind of like the Mustang and these transit vans that are going to be huge. But I really like the consumer cars better, like the Mustangs. And if they start integrating more cars like that, I think that that'll be a lot better. But these electric transit vans and different things that they're coming out with are definitely going to be good for the private market or for like the corporate market.
Sure. I mean, like you said, I mean, with them getting into the EV industry, you can say there's so much hype in that industry right now. I mean, it can really only benefit them. So I think that's great, and we're seeing more and more companies transition into the electric vehicle industry. So I think that's great, and it's just going to give them an advantage. Then we have Rich saying the EV hype is crazy. We have long ways to go before EV is the new norm, but holy cow, when they run, they really run. And I may just jump in to ride the wave and jump out, make some money, and call it a day. I mean, I think that's the way to go. You know, if you see them exploding in the morning and then it looks like they can continue, I think the best way to go is just, for little day trades. I don't really feel too safe holding any EV stocks overnight right now. What about you?
Yeah, I don't either, especially this week. Like I said, we're getting really close to those high levels, so you might see a bounce off of those highs or a lower high scenario this week. So I think with us getting that close, I don't think it's a good hold right now. I think it was a good thing whenever people were doing that in the past off of some of these nice setups where we saw gap ups and then just we just saw nice breaks every day of highs. That was really nice, but right now you can see they're starting to get more volatile and have a little bit of larger pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see it go flat or, even fall this week. But just keep in mind, that's not a guarantee that that's going to happen or anything. Just you have to watch it, and it's a possibility.
Yep. And then we had Savage saying, good job, guys. I always watch your videos, give it a thumbs up, but never comment. So thank you so much for commenting. Comments really help grow the channel. So thank you so much for that. And then we had Jack saying, great video, fellas. Hoping to kill it with AMD again. Sold a little early yesterday. So, Tom, what do you think of AMD?
I really like this stock for the long term as well. A lot of people have been eyeing AMD for a long time, and I used to have AMD whenever they were around $9 or $12. So I really have liked this stock for a long time. And but the thing is that they are very high right now. But just given what they do, I could see them growing, kind of like Nvidia has over the past few years. This company is definitely no Nvidia by any means, but they're definitely getting up there. And I think that for the long term, this is a great stock. And in the short term, I actually, this was a pretty nice setup here, but I think that now it's kind of went bearish out of this play.
Gotcha. And then we have Emmanuel saying, thank you, Mike and Tom. I got a nice move on WORK. This is good. This is a good work at home stock. Will it continue to rise? So looking at work, they're doing pretty decent from last week. And I think if we see the COVID cases surge again, like they kind of are right now, I think this would benefit WORK. We can see that they actually had a pretty solid run up in April and May. So that can be good, but I don't know. It's not exploding like other EVs or not other COVID stocks. You can say like Peloton or Square or Zoom. So it's not quite moving like them. So I think there might be better plays if the COVID cases do surge. What do you think?
Yeah, one thing I really like about it on a technical level is it looks like it's in a very good W formation right now. If we go from here down and then up to there and then back down and then up, it looks like a pretty good W formation with a pretty solid bounce off of the $24 level. So I like it on the way back up here. Maybe this week, you could trade it pretty safely, maybe up to like $32.70 or maybe $33. I think that's a pretty safe level to go off of just given this setup here.
Gotcha. And then we have Cameron saying, what do you think, Mike and Tom, Tesla is going to do before the inclusion? So there was actually a lot of research done on what happens when stocks, um, when stocks, like what they do before and after they are included in the S&P 500. And overall, like normally, like you'd see the stocks rise for a little bit and then they just like return to normal. So I think a lot of it depends on what we see in the EV industry. If these EV stocks continue to run, for the next month, I think Tesla would obviously continue to run. I think the main thing is what the EV industry does, but just keep in mind there are so many people buying Tesla right now, a bunch of institutions and funds because they need to if they want to follow the new S&P 500. So I don't see them crashing, but I would only see them like soaring if we continue to see the EV industry rise. What are your opinions?
Yeah, I really think that Tesla might have burned a couple people last week. I know that whenever they broke that $500 level and went up, I think a lot of people were really bullish on Tesla, but you could see it actually ended up falling right back over and coming right back down. So, it's a little confusing on the chart, I'd say, but I would be more neutral than anything. I wouldn't be picking up shares for the long term myself, and I definitely wouldn't be getting calls on it right now. If it breaks 508, I would love it, and that would just be the best case scenario for me. Is if it broke 508.60, that would be an awesome day trade, I think, for next week. And but just keep in mind the Tesla options are very risky, and for a lot of traders who are watching this who have smaller accounts, Tesla might not even be a good option to trade for you, because a lot of times the Tesla options might cost 3 to 5 grand per option and swing $500 to $1,000 within 30 minutes to 15 minutes. It can have some volatile moves.
Oh yeah. And then we have Manny saying, what are your thoughts on AAL puts? I have a call that expires next Friday. So what do you think of this?
Yeah, this one is actually pretty crazy. They've had some good news lately, and now that COVID is starting to hurt them, they're starting to come back down. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they continued falling. But man, I really hope that they go up just for their own sake. A lot of these airlines are doing really bad lately. But if they fall below $12.47, I could really see them continuing to fall.
Gotcha. So Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for this week?
One big thing I'm really watching right now is Twitter, and this stock is awesome. I really like the bounce off of this support level around 42.50. It's been a great technical setup, bounces off the 100 SMA, bounce off the support, and now we're starting to pop above this high of around 45.25 here. So if we can break 45, let's just say 30 on Twitter on Monday, I would really like this as a bullish setup to the upside. Twitter just looks like a great setup right now. It definitely could continue to run, and I think they could possibly fill this gap back up here, back up to around $48. So just watch out for Twitter tomorrow. Let's go intraday on it. I really like it. Yeah, make it pop above 45.32. Cancel the 45.30, make it pop above 45.32, and I would really like this as a bullish play on Monday for a good possible day trade, or possibly a swing into Tuesday, but it's definitely safer to go for the day trade.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. If you guys want to join the Discord group, it's the first link in the description down below. Free day trades every single morning, and then 11,000 other traders you can network with. If you guys want to try out the options trading bot and trade the same options as Tom and I, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. And if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to see our videos on your YouTube homepage every day. But with that being said, thanks for watching.